With the Carolina Panthers going into week 2 hoping for different results than they did in Duval last weekend, Dave Canellis and the Panthers are hoping to get one of their own in the trenches back for an important swing game going out to the desert and hopefully draw some confidence for its franchise quarterback. Want to find out what his status is and the other keys to the game out in the desert? Stay tuned to find out on Growlin' and Prowlin'. Welcome back, Prowlers. Thank you all so much for joining us on this edition of Growlin' and Prowlin'. Of course, you're growling with the one and only Mr. CeeLo. And guys, I just want to, I hope you guys are doing okay. I just want to take this opportunity and give a big growl out to my mom, who on this day 2 years ago left this planet and transitioned over. Just want to tell you that you've been gone, but we still love you and we still remember you. And I hope all of you who have had someone transition over have found solace and peace in your hearts in their absence. But let us get into the week 2 storylines for this game. As you all know, many of us are wondering what the status is on Panthers franchise tackle Ike Ekwonu. Well, he's according to certain sources, it was announced that he is scheduled to play, and that's a huge boost. So, but the question is he going to be at full strength? Now, a lot of people think an appendectomy is just light surgery. Now, it may be, but to a 300-pounder who's, that's not something to sneeze at. You got to get back your strength, your footwork, your air, or your wind. But, we can feel good about it all we want, but the fact is, the plates, it dictates everything. If Ekwonu's at full strength, this is huge. But I just question why Brady Christensen is not the guy for the job. As I said, the Panthers saw Josh Nijman go out in week 1 in Ekwonu's absence, and he wasn't great. As I said, Brady Christensen's a guy, in my opinion, who should have that spot regardless. And for what it's worth, he's always performed well in his absence. Brady Christensen is a 3-down guy. I would say 5, because he can play guard, center, and tackle, but he can play all 5. So when I start looking at where this team is, right now Ekwonu is the big guy. We already know Tershawn Wharton is out on the defensive front. But the most important thing when we start talking about this offense is that this offense has to be able to keep Bryce upright against a very good Arizona front. If the Panthers are able to do what they did last season, which is run the football, I'm still waiting on Canellis to be that vigilant warrior when it comes to running the football. I think when you say you're vigilant running the football, that means you're going to run the football even if the defense knows it's coming. To me, I saw too many times Canellis wanting to use his new toy, which was Ted McMillan. That can't happen. We can't end up in a position where we're allowing guys like Josh Sweat, Calais Campbell, and Darius Robinson to tee off, as well as Xavier Collins. You can't allow these guys to tee off on Bryce. And when you look at the secondary with Max Melton and Budda Baker and Will Johnson, you cannot allow this defense to tee off on your quarterback. Which leads me to the next point. The best way you can deal with a really good defensive front is just be able to run the football. Look, there was a lot of good money spent. I get it. Dalvin Thompson is out of 6'3", 330, but he's 31 years old. If you can consistently start moving him off the ball and making him work, I question the depth that the Arizona Cardinals have in their middle. You got the ageless wonder, Calais Campbell, who's still making plays in this league, but he's 39 years old, people. He's 6'8", 315 pounds, still a powerful figure with 5 tackles on the season in the opener. But I have a lot of faith. Now, here's the other thing. Corbett's got to play better than he did last week. And I have a lot of faith that we're going to be able to do some special things underneath. Now, Will Johnson's probably going to be matched up with Ted McMillan, which, in my opinion, as I said, I still have a lot of faith in what Ted can do. Now, Will Johnson is 6'2", but he is also a rookie. He's got 3 pass breakups already, people. So, but I will tell you, I still have a lot of faith in Ted McMillan. Like I said, Max Melton is 5'11". That's not a matchup you want Ted McMillan on. This is where Leggette's going to have to come up big. And I also believe that this is going to be a situation where you're going to have to see a better showing from Datavian Sanders. He and Tommy Tremble are going to have a big game. And then you got to throw in Mitchell Evans as well. We did see a little bit of James Mitchell, but I'm going to be honest with you. This is where Canellis is going to have to start featuring his tight ends more. You cannot sit here, and everybody in the National Football League understands that we're itching to show off our new Corvettes, including Hunter Renfrow. You got to get creative. You can't sit here, Canellis, and say, hey, we're not going to draw up anything. We're going to let these guys beat their opponent. Sometimes you got to use some creativity. And I would say more so than not. On one hand, we have to be able to run the football. If we can't run the football, this is not going to be a good day for us. Ultimately, we have to be able to put Arizona in situations where we're moving the clock, keeping Kyler Murray off the field. The other thing is these big guys that we got in free agency, and Bobby Brown, Derek Brown, and Ashawn Robinson, who didn't do a bad job. We just got exposed when you look back at Trevin Wallace, whom a lot of people are saying this guy is on the verge of being out of here. And I don't like hearing that type of press, because last year he was just getting into it, and already he's getting a bigger role. You can't sit here and automatically say, oh, well, he's already on his last leg. I get it. You're asking the defensive line to do a lot. But here's where Coach Avero, in my opinion, has to do better with his run blitzing. And, of course, Nick Scott's going to have to come out. I'm going to be honest with you. If Nick Scott costs this team yet again, that seat of Coach Avero needs to get hot. You're hearing me say this, Panther Nation, because here's the reality. You can't keep putting Nick Scott on the field if he's not going to tackle anybody. Now, I agree with Julian Council on one thing. Nick Scott is not a good tackler. From what I saw with Latham Ransom, I'm going to be honest with you. The guy will hit you. And he's pretty darn good and smart in coverage. You're sitting there talking about you're starting to buy into, or you need to buy into the youth movement. I think you better buy into it before you get gone. I'm not saying I want you gone, but you already ran off Frankie Louvu. You already ran off Jeremy Chin, and it ain't looking good for you right now. You can sit there and be stubborn if you want to. Now, I'm saying what you need to do right now, Coach Avero, because right now, I like the scheme. I don't like the way you're calling it. Because it ain't stopping nobody. Now, you're hearing me now say this because I watched some of that film and it was peeing me off. You keep having Nick Scott in there and there's no reason for that. And Trevin Wallace is getting a lot of heat. Now everybody wants to talk about, well, why did we draft ETN? I told all of y'all that beforehand. Told all of y'all that beforehand when there was a couple of linebackers on the board that we could have used. Hell, Xavier Watts didn't go as early. Don't get me wrong. Lathan Ransom is a good choice. Hell, I wasn't big on him because I go, well, who was that? Because we know about Caleb Downs. I didn't know much about Lathan Ransom. But then here he comes balling out in the preseason. This defense has to get to Kyler Murray. Don't have to. I mean, we're sitting here looking at guys like Ashawn Robinson, who is once again playing well. You can't ask anymore. He had 4 tackles in the loss against the Jaguars. And then, of course, Derek Brown is still trying to work his way back. Looking at what he was able to do. It's just a situation where we can't depend on that defensive front to make every play. Derek Brown had 3 tackles in this game. But the most important thing is we're not getting sacks. The very reason that guys like Bobby Brown and Tershawn Wharton, who's out, were brought in. See, Bobby Brown only made 1 tackle in this game. He's got to be a bigger part. And I'm going to be honest with you. A guy that I want to see brought up and who is scheduled is going to be Bobby Brown's backup tomorrow. And I'm actually ecstatic about it. Cam Jackson. I'm telling you, if this guy can make some plays, I am excited about this kid. 6'6", 328. Let me tell you. Y'all mark my words. This guy's going to play himself on the field. He will be a lock whether Tershawn Wharton plays another snap. Keys to the game. J.C. Horn's going to have to do his thing yet again. We just got to tackle. Defensively, we have to tackle the football. We can't have Nick Scott missing tackles and taking bad angles. We can't have Trevin Wallace not filling the right holes. DJ Wanham and Pat Jones II are going to have to get pressures on the quarterback. Now, rumor is that Princely Emmanuel is going to play primarily on third downs. Every third down, they're saying he's going to be out there. Patrick Jones or DJ Wanham will not be out there. I'm hearing Nick Scorton is going to be possibly starting a series. They're going to start, from what I hear, he's either going to be coming out there for DJ Wanham in relief or Patrick Jones on first and second down. Love the hearing on that. Love it. Think it's going to be an absolute slugfest. So all I'm saying is that we have to maintain Kyler Murray. And this defense is going to have to do a lot more than that. I think J.C. Horn's going to do a great job locking down Marvin Harrison. The biggest concern is, can we slow down Trey McBride? That's going to be on your linebackers and possibly Trayvon Moehrig. Please don't let it be Nick Scott in man coverage. That's his safety net. We can control him. We have a really good chance of winning this game defensively. But ultimately, we've got to be able to run the football with that lighter defensive front that they've got. Josh Sweat is a primary pass rusher. Not very strong against the run. If we can get him coming up the field, we have a really good chance to dominate this team in the run game. He's only got 1 tackle on the season, so he's not a guy that gets a lot of. He's primarily their elite pass rusher. He came over from Philly. You know, he was the one that basically got paid for the Super Bowl. So, you know, basically he and Darius Robinson, whom is kind of one of your lower end edge rushers. I would put him on the same level as a big time Myles Garrett size wise, but he's not a guy that has been overly efficient. You know, he came over from Missouri. They were drafted him in the first round, but he's not been very efficient as of yet. Didn't even record a tackle in the first game. So I'm not saying he can't do some serious things, because he was very good at Missouri, but just hasn't got it together yet. This season's got nothing on the stat sheet. So if we can control the line of scrimmage and keep Bryce upright, I like the matchup of Ted McMillan versus Will Johnson. He's very physical, but Ted is too. I'm going to call this game. I think the Panthers come out. I think they come out and they're able to establish the run. They throw some deep fades to Ted. Ted goes over 100 yards receiving. I think Chuba goes over 100 rushing this game. I think Dave gets Rico Dowdle more involved in the running game, not just throwing the ball. And we don't fall in love with these silly, just base plays. And I think Leggett learns from the bashing that he got from Panther Nation and does better. I think Bryce is going to make better decisions when it comes to not throwing balls in situations they don't need to be. And then I think he's going to be on time with some of his throws this week. I think he's going to do much better, because I think ultimately when you go out there with the attitude that I got this, sometimes you need a humbling experience. And I think that's what that was. So I think ultimately this will be a situation where he comes out, they look good, and they win this game possibly by a field goal. But that's going to do it for us, you guys. Let me know what you think down in the comments. And I'm real close to getting this t-shirt done. I know I keep saying it, guys, but it has been a madhouse since the season started. I'm not saying I won't get it done. I'm trying to get it done, but it's going to be done real soon. Make sure you comment down below, and if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification button. And also, don't forget to go over to the Facebook page and the Facebook group. Join it. And finally, go over to my Instagram at Mr. CeeLo so you can keep up with all of my in-season shenanigans that I will be into. But until the next time, keep prowling the airwaves and keep growling out. Keep pounding.